Just before we chat to Darren Gough, double Ashes winner Steve Harmison joined John Norman on following on Ashes inquest on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel to look back on that 8-wicket defeat to Australia in the second Ashes test. And here they are discussing Brendan McCullum's comments that England were over-prepared for the second test, if anything.
Over-prepared and over-trained. How can you say that? I never played the game. I don't know what you need physically and mentally to get up to a position where you are ready to take on Australia in the Ashes in Australia. This England team were not over-prepared and over-trained. I don't even know what that means.
I mean, I'm struggling with that one as well. The over-prepared bit, you could be overthinking things. That's mentally. You could be over-analysing things and what you're trying to do. That's mentally. But the one thing that's not mentally is the physicality side of bowling, and you have to have overs under your belt.
The following on podcast and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel are there for all the best reaction to this second test defeat and more. Goughy, I saw your tweet as well the other day on that subject, and it was quite Jim Royal from the Royal Family.
It was meant to be. I was watching it there on the sofa.
Oh, were you?
Jim Royal, it was meant to. I just missed the comma, didn't I?
Yeah.
But other than that, look, I'm probably same as every other England fan who was watching. I want England to win, right? I believe this is our best chance to beat them. I really do. We're playing against their second team. Let's be straight about this.
Yeah.
No Lyon, no Hazelwood, no Cummins. So no, we've got a part-time opener, an opener that's just come into the side, a 30-odd-year-old trying to make his way in Test cricket. Still don't know who's going to bat. Well, a number 5 really is a number 6 or 7, Cameron Green. They've got lots of things going on, and we've got a great chance to beat them. And all that build-up and all that talk, and really 2 tests, we are underprepared. They could come out and defend it all they want. We are underprepared. 100%.
Yeah. What should they have done? Should they have gone out there earlier, which is always difficult with the calendar, or should they have just tailored their sort of practice, their build-up, and got some more practice games in, certainly with the pink ball anyway?
Well, the thing is, they wanted them all to be together. So they came out in little bits and pieces, didn't they, to New Zealand, all at different days. I think Ben Duckett came straight to Australia, or came into New Zealand last because he got married and was on honeymoon. And then they kept coming at different times, so they didn't even come together, and they were training in New Zealand. We all know, I've been in New Zealand. I lived there for 6 months playing cricket as a youngster. It's totally different to Perth. And then you go into Lilac-Hill. They've tried to defend that. You can't defend it. Having a training match at Lilac-Hill and then going to Perth with no nets at Perth, no meal practice at Perth, is an absolute criminal. It really is. And then the pink ball stuff, they've already decided they were going to go straight to Brisbane anyway. And I'm not too bothered about that side, but to come out after it and say they were over-prepared, too many nets with a pink ball when half the team hadn't played it, well, 7 of them had not played a pink ball test, I thought was a remarkable thing. It was a real mistake on what he said, McCullum, whether you with is the way they're playing or not, right? Yeah. It was just the words, I was absolutely gobsmacked.
Do you think that he's just trying to take the heat off the players? I mean, because, the focus...
Ben Stokes hasn't, has he?
Yeah, the focus will be on him, won't it?
Well, does it take the heat off the players? Because I think when you hear a statement like that come from someone high up, I think it sends the total opposite message. Because if you're a fan, if you're a player and you look at the fans, they create the energy for you to perform at your best. Once the fans lose faith in what you are trying to achieve, it's very hard as a player to lift yourself because you need that support, especially when you're in Australia. And I think that statement has probably hit the fans harder than it's hit people like me, ex-players, or that, we could have a joke about it, a bit of Jim Royal, whatever you want to do. But I think realistically, we all want them to win. And I still believe, and I'm going to believe until we're out of it, we can win the series. Very unlikely. Yeah. But if you haven't got that self-belief in your own ability to win a series from here, we might as well come home now.
Sure.
We might as well come home now.
So obviously Bad's ball is about risk to reward, right?
Yeah.
And at the moment, it's all risk, and there's no reward whatsoever. But what about players' personal responsibility? And you're saying about the not going and playing in the at Canberra in the pink ball, game midweek in between the 2 tests. Can't players actually say, actually, I think I need to go and plan that game? Or even now, they're saying that they're going to play golf like for 4 or 5 days. from the outside, whether that's been decided beforehand, that don't look great. But that doesn't look great, because even as a player, I'd be thinking, I need to either get in the net, so I need to, get some bowling, sort of in my legs.
Yeah.
Because I'd want to go into the third test knowing that I'd done everything that I possibly could to make sure my performance is going to be as good as it can be. Now, if you go in there and it doesn't work, you can look back at yourself and say, I give it everything I probably could on that preparation. That ain't a great look, is it? Go and play golf.
Well, it's not a great look. And the thing is, though, we're all different, right? We've been professional athletes. We're all different on what we need to make us tick. Some people need more nets, some people need less nets. But one thing I would have said, because you get a little bit of stick when you put a little statement out there again. One thing I will say is that when I played, right, even though I had lots of injuries, I know I can turn up and bowl 20 overs in each innings, right? And I can do that and stand up and be at the same pace in my third spell as I was in my first spell. That's bowling fitness. That's not me getting on a treadmill and running for an hour. Bowling and being in the arena and bowling at full pelt all day
with the adrenaline going
is hard work.
Yeah.
Is hard work. And I don't think, and this is not having a dig at Jofra Archer as a player, because he's a diamond cricketer. He's a diamond. We need him to be at his best. I don't think Australia get him to the third spell and he was out of there.
Yeah.
Yes, he had a bit of a break and then he come back and bowled speed of light yesterday, but it's too late. As a lot of people say,
well,
it's too late.
Steve Smith had reminded him of that, didn't he? I mean, he was sledging.
So
him
right,
for it.
that's the sort of sledge you get. That all these other sledges you read, they're just all made up. I mean, they're just for comedy value, right?
Yeah.
But those are the sort of stuff you get. That's cricket. That's being in the heart of it. And I don't think I don't think Mark Wood could bowl 20 overs in innings. 100%, can't do it. Jofra, I don't think Jofra can do it, both innings. Atkinson could. I think we've seen that, but he's played a lot more cricket than some of our other guys, and Cass probably until his toe goes again, because he has this constant reoccurring toe injuries. So it's going to be interesting. The golf trip, if they would have played a few practice warm-up games, I think it's the right time to go and do it.
Yeah.
Actually go and get away from cricket and do some. It would have been perfect timing.
Reset.
But we had 10 days off after the first test.
Yeah.
What were we doing in that period? Yeah. We had 10 days off. And now going on this, if they're not going to net now, which don't look as though they are, it's got to be a psychological reset and chat about the way they've played and what can we do different as a team. Because the two non-like Bazball players in this whole team are Stokes and Root. And guess what? Those two are the best players.
Well, we had a little period, didn't we, when the Aussies aren't doing anything special.
They're there for the taking, mate.
Yeah, and they're playing the situation, they're playing the conditions, they're just...
Brains.
Exactly, and we saw a little period with Stokes and Jacks where they did exactly that. And then, of course, the whole thing falls apart when one of them gets out. But that's the frustration, isn't it? That we see in little pockets. And you're saying the performance of Joe Root, it was a really good, balanced innings, that he did all the right things, didn't throw his wicket away.
Exactly. Learnt from his mistakes and tried to be a little bit watchful early on, Joe Root. And then he does what Joe Root does. Good players, great players, when they get in, they cash in. Vaughan did it in Australia. When he went there, he realised what you had to do, get past that new ball. And when he got past it, he made sure to get a big one. Alistair Cook did it. Andrew Strauss did it. Joe Root's now doing it. Great players do that. Australia players of Steve Waugh, Mark Waugh, Ricky Ponting, Michael Slater, Langer, Aiden. When they get in, Warner, when they get in Australia, they get big scores and bat you out of the game. If Australia go to Adelaide and it's a good pitch and bat first and get past the new ball, I expect them to score 450, 500 against our bowling attack. I really do. And that's the frightening thing. One of our players has to step up, and we are good enough. I look at it, and on paper, you put the two teams side by side, on paper, not what's up here. You put them on paper at the minute, without Cummins and Hazelwood and Lyon in the side, that last test, we're a better team.
Yeah.
It's nuts to even say it, and we're 2-0 down. It's nuts.
Ben Stokes himself said afterwards that his dressing room is no place for weak men. He wasn't happy with what he saw. Are they likely to make changes, and what changes can they make for the third test?
Well, the problem he's got, guys, he sent Bashir off to play for the Lions and Bethel. Bethel got the Lions lost as well, by the way.
Yeah,
we got battered by Australia by an innings and something, didn't we? So even our B team got battered. But Bashir got none for 100. in the game, and he's already talked him. He said the only reason Jackson's playing because it's a pink ball test and we'll hardly need the spinner, so he's going to play. But he said, but if it's his best spinner is Bashir. He got none for 100 in this game, and Bethel got 70, didn't he, in one of the innings. So where does he go from here? He either makes that change at 3, but I don't think I would. They've got to give him. They've got to give him the best chance possible here now, and Pope's still averaging pretty high. He's averaging in Test cricket. 3 tests. These have got to take responsibility for the way they're playing. Crawley, Duckett, and Pope have got to play like they can play, and one of them's got to get 100. Simple as that. We can't keep relying on the same man to get us out of jail. They might spice it up with a bowling. I think Tong's going to come in. I think Atkinson will stay in. I think he was good, but Carter's been good as well. As long as Carter's fit now, he's played 2 games, bowled a lot of overs. They might rest him for Adelaide, but Adelaide's like it used to be, it tends to skid on a little bit. It's not as bouncy as the other 2, and it's, let's say, it's whether they play Archer again. They have to, really, because if we don't win the test, it's all over. There's no point playing him after that. Exactly. If we've lost the series.
Do you think there's a little bit of the players hiding behind the philosophy as well? Because like they talk about in football, game intelligence and, match intelligence and actually managing situations. I just go back to the first test, England's second innings, we were 65 for 2, which is effectively 105 for 2.
Yep.
Right? So I know it's Bazball, but don't you just manage that situation and go, what we're going to do is,
the 2 batsmen have done,
just go, what we do, we'll bat for 10 overs and make sure nobody gets out. Just cricket intelligence. Don't you think they're hiding behind?
Absolutely. Of course, there's no accountability because you've seen the batting coach, Marcus Trescothick, a very good player, intelligent, and he wasn't like that as a player at all. He didn't come out. He was very watchful with the new ball and then scored quickly, Same as the Aussies have done. Very watchful. The only Bazball player within that side, really, was that Cameron Green innings. What was that about? Yeah. I mean, even with I'm even questioning one of the Aussies, the way he played. That was a pathetic dismissal. I'm number 5 Test player backing away and leaving his stumps out. I mean, I could have bowled him out now at 55. When you back that far away, you just bowl at the stumps and full. He's going to miss it. So there's got to be some responsibility. You get told when you go to Australia, look, be careful when you first come to the crease. It's a bit bouncy with the new ball. Once you get past the new ball, it becomes a lot easier. We're losing too many wickets against the new ball. Stark's bowling wide. It's not like they're great deliveries. They're pitching on off stumps, staying on that line. After play, we're going at balls hard and nicking off. Ben Duckett's another one who's a good player, a good player, so much talent. But it's a little bit of an ego thing, is it? I don't leave balls. Yeah. I don't want to leave. Look at my record. I've scored strike rate of 80%, 90%. I don't leave balls. And it's getting him in trouble. So you have to adapt to whichever country you go to play cricket. And if we don't adapt and we keep trying to do idiotic things, we're going to be 3-0 down. But I'll say it again. I still have belief in a lot of these players are good players. If they just rein it in a little bit, I don't want us to go back to the 90s Test cricket or blocking it. I love watching a little bit of the cricket we play, but you've got to use
picking
2 inches.
Do you sense from what Ben Stokes has said that's going to be the message? They say, look at the way he batted, look at the way Root batted, and say, look, there is a balance. Play the conditions, play the moment, play the situation, and don't just always just kind of, as Perry said, hide behind the philosophy.
Okay, but then when you've got, and I agree, but when you've got Harry Brook, who's got so much talent, and I've known him from my time at Yorkshire, obviously, I promise you, mate, it's off scale.
Yeah.
The talent is off scale. When he hits a cricket ball, it stays it. And some point this series, if he plays all 5 tests, he'll get 150 off in no time, 120 balls. That's what he does. But he's that good, we're going to be critical of him because if he can just rein it in a little bit. But I'm thinking, well, if Marcus Trescothick can't tell him, Joe Root, who's close to him, obviously they've batted together at Yorkshire many times when I was there and stuff like that, and Michael Vaughan, who knows him really well as well, if he's not listening to them, who's he going to listen to? He's just going to keep playing his own way. But again, next test, would it surprise me if he went out in the first innings and played like that and scored 150? No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. But that's just going to encourage him to keep doing that,
Yeah, of course.
If he wins one test... Didn't Baz come out once and say about Crawley, oh, well, if he wins us one test in 4 by playing that way, I'm happy.
It's worth the risk.
It's worth the risk. But the problem is, if you ain't got other guys in the team winning the games, and you all play like that, we can be 3-1 down.
What have you made of Crawley so far? What do you make of him in this test?
I thought he actually, under the pressure he was under, after 2 knocks and 10 days off, and not going and playing in a pink ball game, I thought he actually played really nicely. Right? It could have been different. I think he did nick it, didn't he? So it could have been totally different, and actually could have had 2 low scores again. But some of the shots he played is what we all know he can do. I've worked with him, remember. I was a consultant for England in New Zealand started this journey under Silverwood about 5, just before McCullum come in.
Yeah.
Because Silver's got the boot, didn't he, after that series?
Yeah.
So I saw Crawley there, and the talent, again, is there. But he keeps doing what the management are encouraging him to do.
Yeah.
Is score quickly, want to get after the bowlers, and every so often he will come off. And we'll all say what a great player he is.
So if this is finally Gough, if this is 5-0 or, we win a dead rubber at the SCG and it's 4-1, can Brendan McCullum survive this? Because as Perry said, it's it's Bazball. It's his trademark. It's got his name on it.
I think realistically, knowing Brendan McCullum, the player he was, and I don't think he'll wait. If his philosophy doesn't work and we lose this series horrendously like we have done the last 2 there, I think he'll just leave anyway. I think he'll leave and he'll go coaching franchise cricket or do something like that. He loves his horse racing. I don't think he needs it. If the team are not going to go forward with this philosophy, which I think there'll be can you imagine if we do lose it 4 or 5-0? I mean, it's going to be, blinkers will be on, won't they? And, But Ben Stokes, no matter what, is the best man to lead England. Look at the fight, look at the spirit. I like what he brings to the team. It's no nonsense management, but he's just somehow got to get hold of a couple of players who just need a little bit of talking to and just say, look, the talent's there and I'm going to back you publicly. But this is the first time we've seen a little bit where he's come out and had a go at some of his players.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to reassess their game and make it clear in meetings what do they want from them, because I think they've had a bit of a free ride for the last few years the way they're playing, but I think this is the first time they've come up against a test where they've actually got to think about how they're playing.
It will be interesting next 9-10 days. Adelaide Oval on the 17th, Wednesday week, the 3rd test. Goughy, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Enjoyed it. Really interesting chat. It's Darren Gough there, and as we said, don't forget following on podcast and all the Ashes fallout with John Norman and Steve Harmison and the gang, wherever you get your podcasts, and the Cricket YouTube channel.